afternoon, good morning, good evening, folks. Repair folks. This is me, always George Page, aka the Emperor of Female Body Talk, coming to you live on YouTube, folks. We're already into the second week of December. Dang, can you think about it, folks? 2025 is just about gone. We have a couple more weeks left. Also, this big weekend, we have the Nationals coming up, which is a pro qualifier. I think one of the last pro qualifiers here in the United States. There's some couple more, but this one is big. Some ladies have interviewed, and also ladies have no competing this weekend to get a pro cards. So this is a peak week. Best luck to them. So, folks, I have here's a lovely lady, and she is just made her pro debut this year. She did the Atlantic Coast Championships in Florida. And she's also a client and a friend of a lady who's been a guest on our channel, the lovely Maria Q. Lieberman, or as you know, she's a giant killer. And this lady, her story is interesting, her path and her career. Also, she's Filipino. So this is going to be my third Filipino. I mean, I had her, Maria, and also Abby Jimenez. I mean, tell you the truth, folks. I mean, some of these Filipino girls. I mean, shout out to my man, Executive 23. He would tell me, George, you need to go to the Philippines and get a woman. That's too far to get a woman. So we welcome here Joanna Ysip, and we thank you for your time.
Hello, thank you. Thank you for having me, George.
Not a problem, not a problem. You're welcome. As you know, she also recently did an interview with my man David Bryant over at the Female Body Forum. If you want to check it out, the link is in the comment section. You want to check it. It's a great interview. Shout out to my man David. He supports me. I support him. So, ma'am, this is a question I asked you, ladies. What got you started in sport, as I call it, muscle and masculinity? Please share.
What got me started? Well, when I was younger, I started watching, it was on ESPN2. It was the Body Shaping with Corey Averson and Monica Brandt. And at the time I was a little chubby. I was in high school, and I didn't want to do the typical aerobics, the Jane Fonda, and because I saw her and I was just like, oh, okay, jumping around's not my thing. But when I saw Corey Averson and Monica Brandt and Denise Paglia, I mean, those women were just so like amazing to me because their bodies were just so toned. They were beautiful. They were feminine. And so that's kind of what got me started in that, in the bodybuilding world.
Hmm. I remember those shows back then, back when ESPN used to show like guys like training with Galad, also a couple other, he showed the fitness and workout shows back in the day. I didn't watch him for the fitness workout, I watched him for the girls. That was it. Yeah, I was when I was younger too. Yeah, I used to work out. I was lifting weights because I played football, and that was the thing, But then you get into the real world where you don't have the time.
Yeah, you get busy. Yeah. So that's how I started too. It was like I'd come home from school and then I'd get the recorder because it was like on ESPN2, and it would be so early in the morning, around 4 o'clock in California. So I'd record it. By the time I got home after school, I would work out. I'd play the VHS tape, and then I'd take soup cans because I didn't have weights, and I was just following what they were doing. And then it was like that's how it started for me.
Yeah. VHS. We have, I think I hadn't had one in a long time. I used to have a CD player, not CD, it's a DVD player, but most of the time you can find more stuff on YouTube and on the computer. Those things are getting obsolete. You know that?
I know. The VHS, the smaller one. I think it was called Betamax or something. I mean,
Yeah, laser discs. That was the
the
bigger
laser
one.
discs.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. See, I know you young folks out there, y'all don't get it because y'all came up in the area. You mostly grew up with technology. Us, we didn't. We didn't have that luxury.
Yeah.
So, what was that experience like, and what was the vision that got you started, into bodybuilding? When was that?
Oh, I want to say after. Okay, so I have to say my first competition was in 2012, and I did bikini. But prior to that, I actually was working at a gym, and um I saw one of my coworkers at the time. I was teaching classes, a spin class, and there was a trainer there, and I saw her, and I was like, "Wow, you look really fit." And she was like, "Oh, I just did a show," and I was like, "Oh, wow, I can never do a show." And then it kind of, years later, I was like, "Why not do a show? Why not?" It was like on my bucket list. And then I did my first show in 2012, and that was bikini, and I was really tiny. I was really tiny. And then, so I did that show, and I was like, wow, I placed, top five, top four. And then I was like, wow, this is amazing. Okay, I want to do another show. And then that's kind of how it started for me.
Yeah, I know quite a few ladies. They got into it either because you know somebody they met, or somebody might approach them and say, "Hey," like I interviewed a lady just a couple of days ago, where she was approached by somebody about she was training. She just like to train, build a body and say, "Hey, you competing or you getting ready for a show?" I said, "What's that?" It says, "It's bodybuilding." I said, "What's bodybuilding?" Because a lot of people don't know about it
No.
because it's not as well known. I used to remember you used to show bodybuilding shows on ESPN. Like you show the Arnold Schwarzenegger Classic, the Olympia. Used to come on regular network television, but the last few years you don't see it much anymore unless you watch the pay-per-views or catch it on like a platform like YouTube or something like that.
Hmm. Yeah. I mean, back then, I didn't really see a lot of women in shows. I would see at the time it was Ronnie Coleman, Jay Cutler, and that's who you would see on stage. I didn't see a lot of the women, nor were they really that popular, you know. There was, of course, women's bodybuilding, and then at the time there was fitness. So there was no figure, no bikini. I think it was just fitness. And I was like, oh, I can't tumble. I can't do all that, you know. Um, but yeah, when I talked to this girl, she was like, "Oh, I just did I think at the time she did bikini." She's like, "Yeah, I just stand there, I do a couple moves, and then I get off stage." I was like, "Oh, wow, very impressive." And then, I didn't think anything of it until years later, and I was like, "Hey, why not? Why not try it?"
Yeah, because I think bikini came in about in the early 2000s because what it was at one time it was just women's bodybuilding. It was the first of the women's divisions. Then fitness came along. Figure spawned from fitness because a lot of women didn't want to jump around chicken sweat, so they just cut that art out. And
Yeah.
then they brought in bikini, and the other divisions came on a little later. And you see how they evolve over years. Here we got my man KL, the one who also does content on ladies in bodybuilding. Says, "Hello, hello, brother. How you doing?"
Mhm.
Also, he has a question. He says, "Joanne, where are you from?"
I'm located in California.
She's in California. California, a place you want to be. So you're a little bit looking and move this Beverly Hills. That is. I used to love watch that show as a kid.
Beverly Hills.
Yeah, Jeffro Bodine, yeah. But yeah, I think this is a sport where everybody finds something about it. And you're like, so you were doing bikini. What made you change divisions after a while?
Well, one, it was a type of training. So I love challenging myself during training. So over time, because I took a little break from bikini to figure, just because, life happens. And I was like, do I really want to do this right now? Because the diet part was really hard. And so then I was like, let me just train. And the type of training I would just go in and I would just PR, I would lift really heavy. And I enjoyed that. And so one day I was like, wait, I put on a little bit more mass. I can't do bikini. Let's try figure. Um, and I tried figure and I did very well. I won my class. And then from then on, I trained a little bit more. And then my coach at the time, she was like, I think you do good in women's physique. And I was like, no way. I don't want to do a routine. I'm too scared to go up there. At least with figure and bikini, you're in heels, you prance around, you're like 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah. And then you're off the stage and but with women's physique, I was like, oh my gosh, I'm gonna have to do a whole routine. I can't flow like that. I mean, I can dance, but to flow and to showcase muscles was a challenge for me. But my coach at the time, she was like, just try it. You might like it.
Yeah, I think I talked to quite a few ladies who started out in a particular division, either bikini, figure. Some got tired of the high heels. That was the thing. That's why they switched.
Yeah.
They like to, like, I was interviewed a young lady. Her name is Morgan. She just got a pro card just this summer at USA's. And she loved getting bigger and getting muscle. She got into figure, but then she wanted to do more. And that's the thing about this. It's a process as you grow and develop. And who was your coach at that time? Anybody we
At the
know?
time, it was Jamie Pinder.
Oh,
Yeah, yeah.
I
She
have
was
a little.
the originals.
Yeah, I
With
have stories. I interviewed Jamie a while back.
yeah.
Because she used to have her own YouTube channel, and she made some comments, and I reached out, and then she's kind of we hadn't heard much of her lately. I mean, she's kind of been quiet lately.
Yeah, she stopped coach. I mean, I won my pro card under Jamie, which I am so appreciative and so blessed to have her at that time. And then thereafter, she kind of stopped coaching. So that's where I was lost. I was like, who am I going to go to? And I didn't understand how this whole coaching process was. And at the time, I was like, I've been with Jamie for at that time about 4 or 5 years, I think. And then after my pro card, it was just like, okay, I'm lost. And so I went through a couple other coaches, but I realized, like, do I want a male coach or do I want a female? I felt more comfortable with a female coach. And Maria actually helped me with posing during the 2023 when I won my pro card or earned my pro card. So she helped me. And then I reached out to Maria, and then she was like, I can take you, Joanne. I can coach you. Because at the time she had finished Masters Olympia. And so she was like, I can take you. And I was like, oh my gosh, okay, yes, let's do it. So yeah.
Yeah, that's good. I think one thing with some competitors, a coach understands the process of what you develop, and I think some women they feel more comfortable with a woman because you understand being a woman, understand the that men and women our biologies are different. Even though we share some things like organs, blood, like that, but biologically there's some differences. I put it like this: men and women we're the same species, but we're different breeds. If you
Yeah.
look at that, yeah. We have here a comment from my man. He want to quick and so he said like you say you're a family. I meant are you Chinese? Yeah.
Oh no, I'm actually Filipino.
Yeah. See, really, you said where she's from. You didn't say what's her background. That's the thing. You gotta when you do that, when you ask a lady like this is like a first date. Say, hey baby, where you from? Who you people? You gotta talk to a lady. You gotta be a little smooth. He's a good cat, but you just need to work on his delivery. Shout out here also, my man. He says this. It says, I think the divisions would be more interesting if they did do a dance routine. Yeah, but like I said again, it's hard to dance in high heels. I worked in a strip club, and that's difficult.
Oh wow.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, I did that. I had a couple of jobs when I was a much younger man. I worked at the gas station. I worked here, there, textiles, some stock places here, there. And one of my jobs, I really kind of enjoyed it. It was working in a strip club. I used to work, but here the thing is, it's not all sunshine and rainbows, sweetheart. There's good days and bad days. Sometimes you have to take guys out, and sometimes you have to break up fights between even the strippers too.
Oh wow.
He's a hater. He says, George, please, hey, whatever, be a hater. Hate him more. so so after you met Maria, then you turned pro. Why? Like some competitors take a good while before they make their pro debut. What was the reason for you for making like at least about 2 years since you get your pro card?
2 years. Well, I wanted my body to recover. And then I also knew that at a pro level, I needed to be competitive. So I needed to, grow a little bit more. Um, yeah, these pro women, wow, they are amazing. When I was backstage, I was just like, what am I doing here? Why am I here? Do I belong? Somebody made a mistake, So, but eventually I was like, yeah, okay, I belong. But they are so amazing. Yeah.
Yeah, I've been a couple of shows. I remember my first show I went to was Savannah. That was back in 2022, and I met some amazing ladies. Then my last show was when I went to Tampa, and I met some of these ladies. A couple of ladies I've done interviews with, ladies I follow social media. I remember I ran into Rachel Daniels,
Oh
and
my goodness.
wow, and I first saw Hunter Henderson. I even did an interview with her friend Brianna Terry because y'all were both at that same show together.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
there. Yeah.
yeah.
I was kind of starstruck. I was like, should I go up to her and say hi? But because I see her on Instagram, and I was like, I'm too starstruck right now.
Yeah, and also April Cosmato, she was there too because
Oh yeah.
that was her pro debut that year. And I was talking to her, I talked to her mom and said, yeah, you should make a shirt for your daughter, 10 top 10 after 10 years because that was her pro debut that year.
Yeah, April, I talked to April, and she was actually the first person I met in line. And oh my God, that girl is so cool. Like, she is so cool to be around. Like, our vibe was like, we just got along. So,
That's good because you know you want that, you know, especially when you even though y'all are competitors, you still want the good camaraderie because y'all both women in the sport. Sometimes not everybody's gonna be buddy buddy, you know. But if you respect for one another, that's good. So, folks, while we have Joanne here, what we'll do is we're gonna jump into her social media for a little bit. If you want to follow her, link description of this live. But guys, it's a lovely lady. This is, I'm saying like this, is she's sure a party woman. So, you know, guys, be respectful. No weird stuff. You know, come on. You know, I know you guys, you see women like this, you get excited. You act like a little kid with a new toy when you see a beautiful female bodybuilder. But be respectful and calm yourself, all right? We're going to jump into your social media a little bit. If you want to follow, the links are in the description of this live. So here he is. And as I said again, she recently did an interview with my man David. And, you know, how did you, because I know he was at the Atlantic Coast show. Did he reach out to you when you were there?
I was there, but everything was happening so fast. I didn't get a chance to meet him.
Yeah, I know he was talked to a lot of people here and there. I think he was also trying to catch up with April there too, because he interviewed April a while back. And just one of your clients. This is one of your clients. She just competed this weekend.
Yes. Oh my gosh. Shout out to Audrey and her mom. And Audrey, she reached out to me about August, and she wanted to do a show. And I was like, okay, why not? She was 17 at the time. And I was like, okay, as long as your mom, and her mom is a competitor as well. So her mom, knows the ins and out of the competition. But she won her class this weekend in fit model.
Oh,
18 years old, to have that type of drive and dedication at 17 to 18 is just amazing. I wish I did that when I was her.
well, congratulations to her. But here's one thing: I'm not a fan of fit model.
Oh,
Excuse me. I'm just not a fan of it. I interviewed a couple of ladies of fit model. One lady just turned a pro card just a couple of weeks ago. Here she's talking with Tyler Mannion, one of the judges
yeah.
at that show. I mean, you know, I'm not a big fan of his either.
Oh, no.
Yeah, I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm not gonna hold no punches. And also here's this, which was wow, this is a nice video you put together. I mean, you have a very impressive physique, madam. I mean, you know, what was your feeling at that show? Because you didn't do open, you did what was the I think 45 or 40 plus?
I did 40 plus and 50. Um,
50.
yeah, I wanted to do open, and Maria actually wanted me to do open. But at the time we didn't make it, so we'll do open it the next time around. But for my first show, I was like, well, I was kind of nervous to do open because those women, I mean, you're going against younger women as well, so I didn't know what to expect.
And did you say 50 plus? I want to make sure I'm correct, folks. I'm looking at this woman right now. And I'm looking, I thought she was 22, 23, maybe
Well,
25 or 16.
thank you.
You're welcome, ma'am. I mean, yeah, I know a lady I interviewed back, Miss Robin May. She's 59. She got a first Olympic qualification that was in Toronto. I will say like this: she held her own against women who were 20 to 30 years younger than her. And that's the thing is, it's about bringing in your best look, your best physique. From what I'm seeing, like I said, I'm just a fan of you ladies because I hate my. No, I don't hate it. I have a crime. I want to tell you. I want to share with you, Joanne. I always get. I'm a muscle pear smell. I think y'all muscle ladies are so beautiful and amazing.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah. And here she is with her coach and trainer, Maria. And Maria, she's a great person. I'm hoping she might see her come back and compete sometime soon.
Oh, I'd love to see her compete soon. I even told her, I was like, we should do a show together. I don't know if she can coach me, and then, her being in a show as well. But I think I would love to do a show with her. Of course, she, oh gosh, she looks incredible. I mean, that's her off season. Like people were walking around saying, "Are you going to compete today? Are you going to, and she was just there to support me. She was there backstage with me. But for her to look good all year round, I mean, she's just amazing.
Yeah, she's an amazing lady. I mean, she's been on my channel a couple of times before we do some live stream panels. She's been on here. Sometimes she did a little posing clinic. I think, she has a great personality about her.
Yeah.
Like I said, I know she's doing other stuff outside of the sport, like she's running her businesses and also she's getting into movies and entertainment. I mean, she's a smart lady. Here she is working out. Look at those arms. Look at those shoulders. Look at those guns, son. Yeah. When you're training, what is your favorite training session? And which is the one you just, shit, I don't want to do this today?
So for me, my training, I love training back. Oddly enough, because you can't see your back, right? But to me, like back training, I love back training. My least favorite, of course, is arms.
Yeah. Well, I think with that one, back is kind of popular. I've heard arms, chest. The most common one is legs. That is the most common because it's like I remember if you ever remember the Chappelle show with Charlie Murphy and Rick James, where they go back to Eddie's house and Charlie, Eddie, and I was like, Rick is like mess up. It's an F your couch, Eddie Murphy, and Charlie and Eddie bit his legs. That's leg day for a bodybuilder, getting your legs beat. But like I said,
I think I've seen that skit.
yeah, it's a funny sketch. That's one of the classics. And here she is, posing. Does Maria also do your posing?
Yeah, she is. Oh man, she really is on me on posing. She she's good. Yeah.
Mhm. Yeah, that's a good job. I mean, you look really good. She's doing great work with you. And like again, like I said again, I can't talk enough about Maria. I think she's an amazing person. Maybe one day, circumstances are willing, I might get to meet her. You know, but what was your feeling, or what did you get to a feedback from the show of how you place, or because I know I saw you talking with Tyler in the earlier part of of the video.
Yeah. Well, I asked him if, WPD is where I should be, and he said, yes, most definitely. I have the shape for it. The only thing was the conditioning. So um, that was to come in, more conditioned next time. And I was thinking, well, I've never flown before. And, I flew in Thursday night and the show was Sunday. So now we know, like, okay, if the show's outside of California, which they all are, I'm gonna have to give myself plenty of time to come in. So that was the first. I don't fly out of California. I think the only time I flew out of California was once, and that was Hawaii, like 13, 14 years ago. But other than that, yeah, I don't go anywhere. So Florida was the longest trip for me. That was like oh gosh, I think it was an 8-hour flight for me. So
Yeah. Well, I can tell you the truth. I've never been on a plane in my life. I'm thinking about like when I went to Tampa, I took a train, and because I go to the next town over in South Carolina. There's an
mhm.
Amtrak station. I go. That's where I caught the train at. So I went to the train station, same train station where I went to when I went to Savannah. Here's a true story about my street. My first trip to Savannah, I missed my train back to South Carolina,
Oh
but
no.
but my niece, my oldest niece, she lived in Atlanta, so she drives about 3 hours, come pick me up, take her, or go back home.
Yeah.
And I was at the station for 6 hours for the next train to go to Tampa. Then back to the same station with another 5 6 hours to go back. I'm thinking about getting myself a real ID so I can go on a plane because it'll take as long. But if like I said, there not as many shows for women's physique in California, but Arizona is a little closer. There's the Triple O, no Triple O. I'm sorry, not Triple O. The Rising Phoenix, the Arizona Pro. They have women's bodybuilding. Plus, they do Open and 40 plus. And also, if you think about it, there's also I don't know if you're going to have it next year. Is the Van Isle show? That's in Vancouver, and I think that's where Maria stays at. So
Yeah.
yeah, you're closer to the west. You're closer to that show. There's some opportunities. I know it's out of your way to go all the way to Florida, but this is shows you just like I don't know if it's just the list for the season. So
Yeah, I
it's
did.
not it's not fully out yet. I think still some shows haven't been put in, but just check and see, and you and Marie can talk about what you want to do. Here, this is from my man. Shout out to my man. KL says, how many shows you have done all together, and did you had a show you really enjoyed competing in your bodybuilding duration?
Um, let's see, since I started competing in 2012, 2, 3, I want to say I did about maybe 6 shows altogether. Um, but not all back to back, of course. My favorite show, of course, was the Atlantic Coast Pro, just because that was my pro debut. And then, of course, before that would have been Masters USA, because that's where I won my pro card.
Yeah, I think that's. I just saw some ladies a couple ladies I interviewed just got their pro cards at that show. Shout out to Christine Sutton. Shout out to Nikki Treadwell. And I know lady also competed there. I've interviewed some couple ladies who did that show because Masters is really growing. In 2027 is going to be the Masters Olympia, and there's also some more shows like just recently. I don't know if this is something that might interest you also that Tim Gardner is going to do a show. He had the Puerto Rico Pro back in the day, but now it's going to be also a master show. It's going to be, I think it's on the list also. Maybe it's a show you might want to check out. What was that feeling like, at Masters USA's when they told you you're now an IFBB Pro?
I was in shock. I was in shock to the point where I also competed in figure. So women's physique goes on first and then figure after. So when I won my pro card in women's physique, I was like, I don't want to go back on stage for figure. I got my pro card already. I was like so happy. I mean, it's just, no words can explain how I felt. It was just, I was just so happy, ecstatic. It was just amazing, shock, relief. I mean, every emotion was going through my head.
Because it's experience, the time you put into it, and your evolution as an athlete. That time when you finally say, you know what, when somebody say, hey, you're an IFBB Pro. I've known ladies who won multiple cards. I remember one lady I interviewed a while back. She won 3 pro cards, 2 of them in figure, 1 in physique. And and that's the thing is when you put in that time in your work and you get the reward out of it. Now you are IFBB Pro after all these years. But the thing with this is that what can you do with it? I mean, it's nice, but
Well, I mean, I was the okay, so I instantly changed my IG handle. That was the one thing I did. I was like, okay, well, I'm gonna change my IG handle. So I did that, and then after that, I was just like, what do you do with the pro card? Of course you can compete, but I knew that wasn't going to happen instantly because I wanted to be, you know, I wanted to be best up there. Not best, but I wanted to look
the
as good.
best you want to be.
Yeah, exactly. So I wanted a little bit more muscle mass. I knew that I needed to have that to be, at least competitive. But I was just like, okay, well, now I'm a pro. You know, I, it was like walking around, and I was just like, okay, I'm a pro. I'm very proud to carry that name because of all the hard work that I've done. You know.
Mhm. I think with a lot of competitors, it's like, especially if you're in the fitness world, it's like being licensed and bonded. It's like being certified that you're one of the, it's back in the day, it was so few opportunities,
Yeah.
but now, nationals just had Masters USA's, Olympia amateurs. I think there was a couple of shows overseas. Another lady I interviewed a while back, she just got a pro card, but she had to put an application for it because one of the competitors. It's bodybuilding, even though it's very small niche sport, is kind of grown in over years. We have here, shout out to my man KL. He says this says she almost looks like another competitor. Her last name is Nguyen. Oh, we talk about Jamie Nguyen. Jamie is Vietnamese. She is wellness and a natural competitor. Also, he says this. He's a fan. He's always like that. He says, "You look like a superhero doing those poses." Shira, I mean Joanne. And, and also, he says this. He says, if you're a fan of Fit Model, don't talk to them. You look you looking foolish. No, I don't. It's not about I don't have an issue with the competitor. I just got an issue with the division. I can separate the person from the division if you don't get that. Also, he says this. He says, what's strange is you always have your pay for your pro card. That's the thing is, this is a business. IFBB is a business because that's the thing about this. That's one of the expenses of being a bodybuilder.
Yeah. Nobody really tells you how much you're going to spend, you know, traveling, the food, the suits, the make, especially when you're a woman, the hair, the makeup, you know, for the USA's. I got really lucky. The 3 weeks before that, I did a regional show, won the overall, qualified, and then I had tickets. I guess it was credit. And I was like, well, why don't I just fly to Anaheim? So from where I live in the San Francisco Bay Area to Anaheim, it was only like an hour flight. So I was like, why not just do it? Let's just go, you know? And I did it. And then I wasn't really prepared. I mean, I actually did my own hair and makeup for that show. It was funny because Maria was like, who did your hair and makeup? I was like, me. She was like, oh no. Oh no, no, no. But yeah, I did everything, you know, from hair to makeup. And of course, Jamie was like on the phone with me, FaceTiming, calling, you know, checking up on me. But everything just happened all at once, you know.
Yeah, that's expense that you save doing your own hair and makeup. Because with y'all women, I say it's about the guys. The guys, when it comes to show day, all they need is a pair of banana hammocks and board shorts and tan.
You're
That's it.
right.
For y'all ladies, you have to have, like I said, you are a lovely lady. You have to have your hair done, your makeup, your jewelry, your toenails, your fingernails. You know, you have to have a presentation. Your suits right there. That's your rent. That's a car note. That's a mortgage sometimes,
Yeah.
depending or the quality of the suit. And it's a presentation because you're out there. It's a bit of being a pageant in some ways, but still, it's still athletic because you have to train and work out and get ready. My man says this. He says, not Jamie. Okay, which Jamie talked about? Oh, he says, oh, she reminds me of Tran Nguyen. That's who I'm referring to. Okay, I remember her. She competed, I think, a good bit. I think a good part of the 2000s and the 90s, and after that, she retired. You know, and what was, like I said, other than the coach and trainer, what does she do for a living? You have any, you know, career or job, you know, like that?
Oh, okay. So I'm a nurse and I usually work for the school district. This year I took some time off. And then, other than being a trainer and a coach, I do have a 26-year-old son. Yes, yes. And he supports my bodybuilding. And yeah, shout out to Logan for, you know, letting mom do her thing.
Logan. So, like, does he have like claws and he has a growl?
Right? That's who we actually named him after, was Wolverine.
Wolverine. Hugh Jackman, huh? I bet you
Yep.
like Hugh Jackman. He's a great
Yeah.
motherfucker. Yeah, but that's great. I mean, being a nurse and working in schools. I mean, uh, is it? High school, junior high, elementary? What schools?
I prefer elementary just because I'm a little bit taller than them. So if I work at the high schools, I kind of get lost in the translation.
And then if you're working in the school hospital, like same clinic, say like, hey, how you doing, Miss Ysip? I just came here. I just got a little fever. I just want you to take my temperature because hey, if you were our high school nurse, we be just because hey, we you got to think about I know your boy would say, hey, that's my mom. Hey,
Yeah.
Logan, nothing here from that. But
Yep.
what got you into nursing?
Well, one, I enjoy helping people. So, you know, that was one of my passions, was helping people, and just it's like a selfless job, because then you help people who are injured, who are sick, they're not feeling well. And it takes a certain type of person with a certain type of personality to see these people, you know, and help them, you know, and understand what they're going through, like the pain. You know, sometimes you can't take it personal if they're angry or if they're hurting and they take it out on you. You have to know that, they're not feeling good. Just like us, when we're not feeling good, we're not in our best. But if there's somebody there to help them, you kind of, you can see when they start to feel better.
Hmm. Yeah, because you know what? I remember taking care of my mom for a long time. My mom was sick. She had got a seizure about yeah, a long time ago, and then she was in and out of the hospital, and she's been gone for at least 5 years now.
Oh, I'm sorry.
And we had a CNA come in and help us out, and she was in the hospital quite often. And I say to you, nurses, thank you for your service because you really provide a service for people that need it. It's the nurses that do all the hard work. The doctors come in and say, yeah, yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
here you go, nurse, I'm out. You know, what we got here, shout out to my man. He's been sticking in here. He says, my man says, what's your husband reaction to you bodybuilding if you are married? So, I want to ask you, excuse me, miss, is your husband married?
No, I'm not married. Yeah,
So,
no.
like I said, hey, guys, you might have a chance, but you got to act right. You got to act right. And
Yes.
again, I say again, she is a pretty woman. So, yeah, I mean, that's one thing. I've talked to people who in sport, like finding somebody who can understand what you're doing, because this sport is very different. It's very extreme, and sometimes I've talked to ladies that told me that they were married before, and then relationship didn't work out because they got into sport because they were changing themselves as a woman in their minds. But then like this interview lady, her name is Morgan. She's married and her husband loves her. He's not a bodybuilder. He doesn't work out. He helps support his wife. And you got your boy. He supports you. And as being a son, a boy best friend is his mother.
Oh yeah. Yes. Yeah. He's always there for me. So like if I'm having a hard day or he'll help out, or he just knows like, uh-oh, mom's not in a good mood today. I'll stay away from her. Like I better not have her do my laundry. I'll do my own laundry. Stuff like
he,
that.
he's a grown man. He's a grown. I you know what? I can't say nothing about that because I remember when I sometimes used to work. I remember one time I was working at this cold storage place. I got home. My mom fixed my bed. She put a hot warming pad in there. Again, my mom was my woman. She took care of me, and I took care of her. We got here. Shout out to my man Melvin. He says this. He says, "Let's go." I don't know where you want to go. And also he says this. His question is says next contest. So if we were talking, you don't have any definite plans just yet.
No, because the schedule just came out when you sent it to me. So I forwarded it over to Maria. And so I know she's busy, but we have plenty of time to, look over the schedule.
Mhm. Yeah, that's a great opportunity. Like I said again, because you want to do both, interested in do both masters and open. There's a couple of shows here and there that work. There's some shows that exclusively masters. I mean, whichever show works with your time frame, or a show we feel like you say you don't like to travel a lot. I gotta say I'm a homebody too. Other than going to my doctor's appointments, going shopping, or paying my bills, I rarely leave my house. I did, this year I went out of town twice. That's the most of the time in my life I ever did. When
Oh,
I
wow.
went to yeah, I went to Tampa to help my friend Eunice, and Eunice runs her own company. Shout out my friend Eunice. It's called Bad Rap, and the moniker is Ripped and Defined, big and defined, Ripped and Pump. They are a company that do clothing lines and also supporting and also sponsor bodybuilders. And then I went to Atlanta to visit my niece. I stayed with her, my great nephew, and with my older sisters. And and I mean, like I said, yeah, I need to get out of more a little more. I'm hoping that's why I'm saying I'm hoping maybe get a chance I might go to a show next year.
That,
Um, yeah, here's some man KL. He just like he says, I do like your arms, Joanne.
oh, well, thank you.
Yeah, there you go, KL. You got a little flex. Now put away your tissue and lotion, guys. You're good. That's all. See, some guys, I'll be doing interviews, guys say, George, ask them to flex, ask them to flex. Here's the thing like this. They have social media. If you want to see them flex, go to social media. You can
It's
look at the
all
flex
on
on.
there.
Yeah, because the fact is sometimes y'all get tired of because part of your practicing is flexing, and
Yes.
that can be a strain. But it's part of bringing in your best look, especially as a competitor.
Yeah, it is. I know Maria has me posing, more this off season. So yeah.
Yeah, we got here a man. Ka says this. He says, "Well, you got a opportunity, George. Act right. I'm acting right, but sometimes I said again, I am a muscle person. All these ladies just fight me, especially talking to, especially when she's really pretty, you know." And we got here. Shout out to a man. Melvin says, "Can she cook?" Oh yeah, yeah. She's Filipino.
Oh
That's
yeah, I can cook.
yeah. That's yeah. You can burn. Yes, respected that. Um, this is also shout out to my man here. He says this. He says he's always picking on me. He says, "Yeah, that's ups and downs of being with a bodybuilder. Don't make them angry. Yeah, you won't be like the Credible Hulk." Also, shout out to my man here, Melvin. He says, "Yeah, bodybuilders don't walk around angry. Yeah, not all the time, because you know what. But sometimes this is the thing about this because." The stream of the sport, especially when it comes to y'all women, there's always the prejudice about it because the fact is you're putting on muscle, which most people don't think women should have muscle. But muscle
Yeah.
is part of health. Like I said again, this lady is 50 and I'm 51. And you look better shape than I do, and it's a part of you as an athlete. But again, like we're out and about, like especially when you get, like when you get approached or if you ever like especially working in schools, what's people's attitude towards you?
Well, in the schools, I'll tell you, there was one time it was summer and we don't wear scrubs because it kind of scares the kids away. So we wear our regular clothes. I made the mistake of actually it was hot, it was summer. I made the mistake of wearing a tank top to school. So wow, everybody I was getting people saying, "Wow, Joanne, you're jacked," and I was like, well, I mean, I go to the gym, I didn't tell them that I'm a competitor or a bodybuilder. I just say, oh, I go to the gym. And then one mom, she's like, oh my goodness, can you train me? And I was like, oh, well, I know some people that are trainers. Not at the moment because I had a busy workload at the time. And then so the students will come up to me and they'll say, Miss Joanne, Miss Nurse, Miss Nurse. I'm like, I'm her bodyguard. I'll just say, I'm so and so's bodyguard. Don't mess with her. And all that time, the child that I'm looking over or with, they give them like so much respect. It's like, wow, that's your body, she looks like a superhero. That's your bodyguard. That's so funny. But being around, like, if I go to the store, they'll ask me, like, "Are you an MMA fighter?" I'm like, okay, I do MMA.
Yeah, I do content on social MMA, but many of those women don't have because one thing they don't need that much. There's a few female about like one lady, Kayla Harrison, if you ever heard of her. She's in UFC. She's a UFC bantamweight champion. She's very muscular. She's a big, tall woman. She fights at 135. The thing with that, I've even known some ladies who were at one point before they got into bodybuilding were in combat sports from boxing to mixed martial arts to wrestling. The thing is, that much muscle, it takes a lot of blood and oxygen. You can get tired real fast. But that's the thing is, people when they see it, it's something different to it, because it's so
Yeah,
extreme. Yeah. We
yeah.
have here a comment from a man, KL. He's always says, "Did you ever have a guy hit on you in the gym or in another setting?"
Yeah. Yeah. Usually the gym. I mean, or another setting would I so the only places I go to is just the grocery store and the gym. And the gas station, of course. But those are the only places I'm always at. And but the gym, yeah, I do get a lot of people. And sometimes what I do, especially during prep, it's like I'll wear the hoodie, I'll cover up, or I have this somebody had told me I have like this really serious look when I'm training and that I should smile. But it's like, so you expect for me to do a set and just giggle and look around, hey, this is really cool. I was like, I'm sorry, I don't do that. And once they find out that I'm like the nicest person in the gym, because people think, oh, bodybuilder, they're the most meanest, rudest or whatever kind of person. It's like, no, they get to talk to me and I'm like, I'm always, you know talking to people. Like if they come up to me during my break or in passing, they can ask me a question about training, but not while I'm training. That's one. Oh no, definitely no.
Yeah, because when you're training your mindset on your gains, your PRs,
Yeah.
your regiment, your attempts, I don't know. I think a lot of guys do is often say, "Why don't you smile more?" The thing is, you don't have to smile. You don't want to. Like I said, you're sweating, you're pounding weights, you're aching, your pain, your body's going through a lot. You don't feel like being like the Cheshire cat from Alice. You're like, no, can you just grunt? Can you just holler, say, "You lift, bro, you lift"? That's the thing about this, because again, about bodybuilding and people's idea of it is that it's just all y'all on steroids, y'all this, y'all that. You're just pumped up, you look diesel. Then you're talking about something like women who have muscles, you kind of mannish. Guys, she has muscle. I don't see anything mannish about it. Some guys, I think they got a little sugar in the tank. I don't know, they have an issue. I think it's about intimidation because they feel like you're doing something that most people don't have either the mindset, the discipline, or the understanding or determination to do.
Yeah, no, you're right. I see a lot of men, they do get intimidated, especially, when I'm in full off season and I'm trying to PR or I'm squeezing out that extra rep, or I look at the 80s and I'm like, wow, I think I feel good today that I can hit 80s. It's just stuff like that. And then I'll see like the men, they'll just walk away or they're just like watching, and it's kind of like creepy if you just watch me train, you know?
Yeah, that thing is, there is two sides to it. There's the guys who have like an issue with it because it feels like it's an offense to them that you have muscle more than they do, or the
Yeah.
guys who like say, "Yeah, Joanne, you're kind of pump, you're kind of cute, let's wrestle." No, no, guys, you come on, guys, calm down. Because the thing is, because it's just a stream sport, and I think a lot of people. That's why I do these interviews and reach out to you ladies, because I think this is a way to educate people to understand that you're not just this big muscular woman. You're a lady, you're a mother, you're a nurse, you're a friend, you're a trainer. You're just a woman who found a sport that you're passionate for. We have this from a man, KL, that says, "I mean, there is a stigma with the bodybuilders, not even friendly. It doesn't pertain to all." Yeah, and also stigma is again about is steroids, but again, as I've been told many times, you can take the stuff some of y'all competitors take, but if you don't follow your diet, you don't follow your training, you don't stay regimented, you don't stay consistent, you're not going to look like people like you or Maria or some of the other ladies at the show. Even some of the guys out there, like while I was in Tampa, I saw Derek Lunsford. It's just maybe right before he regained the title. I met one guy I used to meet following when I was younger. We was in the magazines. That's Kevin Lavone. I remember I talked to Mr. Lavone. I said, "Mr. Lavone, you should have been Mr. Olympia a couple of times." He said, "Yeah." He said, "Is there any other than Maria? Is there bodybuilders that you really respect and admire in the sport?"
Oh, yeah. I mean, from the old school bodybuilders, of course, there's Ronnie Coleman, there's Jay Cutler, there's I know there's Sean Ray, you know,
About the
there's
same height.
yeah. But all the old school bodybuilders that I grew up with, and then of course with women, there's Linda Murray, there's Iris Kyle. I mean, there's Corey Averson, Monica Brandt, and these back those older women, and then now you have the newer generation, and then of course Juliana Malik. I'm going to butcher
Mark
her name.
Carney.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh
she
my
was.
gosh, when she was women's physique, she had the. I loved her physique back then, and that's probably why I like that. And then of course there's Jamie Pinder. She was my coach, and then there's that whole era. Of course, Dayla Lynn Bailey was in that era too. She was on stage with them. There's just a whole bunch that the old school bodybuilders that I really learned and appreciate, because I would carry around the muscle and fitness magazines, back in the day, and I'd take that to the gym with me and I'd copy the workouts. I'm like, oh, this is what she did. I'll do that. Um, Nowadays with Instagram and social media, there's just too many people on there that
Yeah.
it's hard to follow just one person because somebody else comes out with new content and you're like, oh, that person, that person, that person. So
Yeah. Yeah, with me doing this content about you ladies, I have to be, as the quote from my favorite movie, Batman Begins, my master Ra's al Ghul, the demons had taught me, be aware of surroundings of your time, never get your footing for a killing below. And I have to be aware of these competitors and these ladies. Some of them I got to meet, like this lady here. This is my friend Eunice Martinez Kitchen. She runs
Oh
Bad
yeah.
Rap. Eunice is a great lady. She's my sister. I call her my sister. She call her brother. And I remember a while back, Eunice. This was like a couple years ago, right after my birthday. It was like my birthday was a couple weeks ago. I just turned 51, and this was
Oh,
like this is my one of the things around about my. I think it was my 48th birthday. Right after my 48th birthday, she sent me something in the mail, and this is why this is one of my favorite bodybuilders that I love, and Andrea Shaw.
oh yes, Andrea Shaw. Oh my gosh.
She's so beautiful. She's so
Yes.
amazing. I just I'm going to marry her someday, you know. But this is what makes it special. That she sent it to me, my friend Eunice, my sister. What
Oh,
makes it special, and I often quote like this: "If you're good at something, son, never do it for free." And what is for me, what keeps me going when people like her or another lady I got to meet, and she even shot me out. I got to meet Ashley Jones. She shot me
oh
out.
my gosh, her too.
Yeah,
She's amazing. She started in figure. I followed her
yeah.
figure, and then she moved up to women's physique, and now she's bodybuilding, and it's just like wow. And
Sharonica Hinton.
she's only five. She's my height too, five
Yeah,
feet. I think. Yeah.
Sharonica Hinton. I met her. She was
Oh
also
yeah.
in the early days of women's physique. But what makes it special for me, and this is what keeps me going, what keeps me when the champion, six-time
Yep.
champ, tells me she appreciates my support and she loves what I do.
Yeah.
She signed this, and this to me, this is my reward. And I love it at Hug It Alcoholic Church.
That is amazing that you got that. And oh
Yeah,
my, she is just so beautiful. I love her look for women's bodybuilding. I mean, she is in a whole different world. I mean, the way she carries herself and the way she keeps herself so feminine, it's just so beautiful.
in next week is going to be her 42nd birthday.
Oh my goodness, happy birthday to her.
Yeah, I mean, you wouldn't think she was. When I remember, I said, "Wow, she's, yeah, she looks like she's like still in her 20s." I mean,
Yeah.
and the thing is, those women like her who still maintain, like people like you mentioned, Corey Everson, Linda Murray. I got one of them I met was when I was in Savannah. That was Alita Popa.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, there's some amazing women. There's some women that a little gruff, but still the good kind of ladies I've met and talked to on social media. But the thing is that this is a passion sport, and it's not as lucrative if you look at it compared to other sports like football, basketball, baseball, even some combat sports. Like, are you sponsored?
Am I No, I'm not sponsored. I'd love to be sponsored. But yeah, no, I'm not.
Yeah, and then it goes back again because of the cost. Like, recently just saw a female bodybuilder announce that she stepped away from competitive bodybuilding. That's Mr. Tyke, and she said like just doing this year's show. She did both. She won her qualification in Chicago. Then she did the Olympia. Was 50K. That's a lot of money. And then if you're the handful of few who gets that promotion or sponsored, it does help cover the cost of your suits, your hair, your makeup, your travel. It's just and as a master competitor, you have to pay to play.
Oh yeah. Going into the show, yeah, I did not know about the fees. I didn't know about, the cost. I knew that yes, I'm going to have to pay for my flight. I'm going to have to pay for my Airbnb. So I am spending a little bit more, but when it comes down to it, you are spending quite a few amount of money just to play. Yeah.
Mhm. You feel like is it worth it? Because even though you love the sport, you love the competition, you feel like it's worth it because it could be. You could like you can put I know buy Logan a brand new motorcycle.
Oh yeah. you know, um, as much as I mean, it could be better. I
Yeah.
won't lie. Yes, I wish there was some compensation, but as much as I love this sport and I've been competing since 2012 and, even before then training, I have a love for the sport. And for me, that what I spend equals out to the happiness that I have, especially after doing the Atlantic Coast Pro. I was like, okay, yeah, I spent a lot, but when I flew back home, I sat down and I was like, that was all worth it. The people that I met, the friends, my coach, that whole experience, it was all worth it for me.
The thing is, it's about what you get out of it. You know, yes, and money, like I said, hey, it comes and goes. I mean,
Yeah.
again, I was working two jobs still with my mom and still struggling. But you know what? You find a passion for something, and it's an investment. You know,
Yeah.
investment in yourself and your future. We have here from a man, Melvin says, "I'm friendly."
Oh, okay.
Hey, hey, like this, Joanne. When I get a new girl on here, these guys like you remember that skit with Charlie Murphy when we talked about he first met Prince at the club,
uh,
and and it's that dude Nikki Free, and but though it was like you're Nikki Free, like George got a new girl out here, she's fine as a motherfucker. That's how these guys act. Because the thing is, women like yourself, you're a special breed. Do a sport where which there's a lot of risk but little to no reward, and to do it for a passion. That's why I do these interviews, reach out to you ladies to share your stories, to let people know that you're not just this woman with big muscles. You're a mom again, you're a nurse, you love the sport, and also you're a coach and trainer. And what, like you said, what would you like to see change in your sport and your mindset?
I would love to see more women in this sport and in this industry. Just because I feel like women, when they see me, I've had women in the gym just say, "Wow, that's just too much muscle." But the thing is, it's like it may be too much for them, and they're younger. They don't understand. Like as you get older, like it's like a work of art. It's challenging. It's beautiful. And they don't realize that just yet, but you know, I don't want women to be afraid training wise, they're afraid to pick up heavy weights or to challenge themselves. In fact, it's like when you do train harder and heavier, you get to shape your body the way you imagine you see other women and they look good. It's because they're training hard. Just don't be afraid of training.
Mm, yeah.
I would like to see women's physique grow. I know that for the next year, there's not a lot of shows coming out, but then again, the list is not complete. But I would love to see more shows, and more women.
Well, my side pick is that Windsor Zeke is doing pretty good, but the thing is, it's because the division is starting to change a bit. It's getting closer to women's bodybuilding. If you look at it, you were like we're talking about like the last couple of shows. Some women should go up to women's bodybuilding. I think I've seen physique competitors that look more like women's bodybuilders. I've seen figure competitors look like physique competitors.
Yeah.
I'm looking girls in bikini, and I just interviewed a lady who a friend of mine. She just switched from she was a physique and bodybuilder for a good while, but went to wellness, and now she's switching back to physique. I think it's always the thing about the division that's more popular. Wellness is very popular. Bikini, it's been around for a good while. You're a bikini competitor, but it's about as an athlete where you want to go. Some will use excuse where because I'm getting all these muscles, I won't be feminine anymore. Yeah. But the thing is, we're in a division where you're kind of outgrowing. What's the point being there? Just to be there?
Yeah. Yeah. I remember when I did do bikini, I actually looking back, I should have just went straight into figure because that's how my body had looked like. It was figure. But I ended up doing tons of cardio, backing off on weights because I was like, oh, I want to do bikini because that's where I thought I fit in, you know. And it wasn't. I feel like, women should do what their body fits in.
The thing is, because you train heavy, eat heavy, you gain size, your body's going to tell you, especially when you're older.
Oh,
Like one lady, a young lady I met while I was in Tampa was Paula Ranta. She's 26 years old. Her body's still growing, still developing. Some ladies, when they hit about 50 or 60, you hit that muscle maturity. Like my friend Jada was telling me how your body's gonna, when you hit your 40s, that's it. You're not gonna grow, and we might put on more size, maybe more muscle, whatever, but you're just gonna be at a certain level, you know. And we look at people like Andre, you look at people like Natalia Coelho, you look at all these other ladies in the IFBB, they have combination of hard work and genetics, you know. One thing I often ask you ladies, especially, I'm a fat man, I like food. Where's that thing, Joanne? That thing that's It's a desire that was calling you. That thing, as my other guy would say, make you stranger or make you stronger.
Oh man, what do you know? What carrot cake? I love carrot cake. Really? Okay.
No,
So, and then the second one would be a chocolate cake. So, chocolate cake with chocolate ice cream. That would be like the ultimate for me.
I remember mom used to cook like for the holidays. She used to cook cakes, like make them scratch. What she buy Duck and Heinz. That's so
Yeah.
scratch, and it was chocolate or jelly or something like that. Yeah, I remember one time where it was like I was talking to my sister how I'm, because my mom couldn't do much anymore, so she was instructing me to make cakes. I cooked two cakes, and one was a jelly cake, and I think one was a chocolate cake. And she tasted them, said, "Son, they're not pretty, but they taste good." I was so proud because my mom, she was really a great lady. This is reason why I started is because I was taking care of her, and this
Yeah.
gave me an outlet dealing with her stuff. Because you've seen people who's going through sickness and illness, and sometimes it's tough, especially on a family.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, that's the thing about this. People got to remember that bodybuilding not just in the gym or something, it's also it's your diet, your training. Like, does me also does nutrition, or you have your own nutritionist?
Maria does my nutrition as well. Um, yeah, she likes to give me plenty of food. That's the one thing about Maria, and that's why she's a giant slayer because that girl can eat. Oh my goodness, that girl can eat. But that's the one thing that Maria bases like her plan, her coaching. It's you got to eat. You got to eat to grow. You got to eat to fuel your training. And that's one thing I like about Maria. She's not underfeeding me. I've been with other coaches where at the beginning they're like, okay, well, this is how much we're giving you. And I'm like, wait a minute, I have a lot of muscle. Shouldn't I be eating just a little bit more? Not to spill over, but just a little bit more. But Maria got it right. So I'm
Yeah.
very happy with that.
So I think her experience and how she's been along the sport, I think this helps. I tell you, it's a lot to be an athlete, to grow, develop, to be consistent, to be determined, to be disciplined. Because sometimes the life can be tough. You have to. Like I said, you have a son, even though he's a grown man, but he still needs his mommy now and
Oh,
then.
yeah.
Yeah, we boys, a boy's best friend is his mother.
Yeah,
You're the
that's
first
right.
woman. You're the first. We can have girlfriends and wives, whatever, but when a mother, you can never replace her. And it's good that you have somebody like Maria. It'd be kind of funny to see y'all two after a show eating together. Two little Filipino women coming in there. I hate to be the waiter say, "Ma'am, ladies." I mean, say, "Hey, Chuck, they just ate everything.
That's
Chuck down in the
right.
kitchen. Yeah, the two little Filipino women. Yeah, yeah, Chuck. Okay, ma'am, you gotta go. Pay your ticket. You gotta go. We got here. Shout out to a man, Melvin says, "Have you ever tried a sweet potato cake?" Hmm. I had sweet potato pie, sweet potato bread, but sweet potato cake. I don't know how you do that.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever had a sweet potato cake either. It's only been a sweet potato pie with some whipped cream, but yeah, no.
Yeah, sweet potato with quick cream. Guys, don't get no ideas because you just
Oh,
you're 6 weeks. I know I'm twisted too. We're talking to a plump, beautiful Filipino woman. She's talking about whipped cream, guys.
whipped cream.
I'm sorry. It's
Wrong
that
word,
other
Tom.
guy. It's that other guy. He cuss every now and then. Yeah, that's the thing about everything about being a bodybuilder is about portions, food, dieting, training. There's so much work to it. It's not easy for everybody. Like I said, bodybuilding, one thing about it is the attention is going to get most of the guys. They get more opportunities. And for y'all ladies, y'all really have to, like somebody tell me, they do it for the love of it. And like you said, that even though you spent the going all the way to Florida and this, that, you love what you do.
Yeah, no doubt about it. It helps me all around. It helps me whatever challenges I'm having outside of bodybuilding. I just know that I'll overcome it because bodybuilding teaches you that. It's like you have a hard set. You're going to do 10 reps of something hard, but guess what? Once you're done with that 10th rep, it's done. It's over. So the hard part's done. So that's how I think about it. It's like bodybuilding has helped me in all other aspects of life.
it doesn't help your physical strength, it also helps your mental strength. Because
Yeah.
again, this sport can be a strain on anybody's mind, their body, their soul, their spirit, their wallet, you know. But if you love it enough, you take it with it. It's like anything. It's like love. There's always going to be risks when it comes in it.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. So, folks, we're not going to hold her too much longer. I know she's a busy lady. She got responsibility. She got one of her clients. Is your client going to be doing any plans to do any national shows, or just sit out the rest of the year?
I think we're going to set out the rest of the year, let her mom compete because you can't have two people in the household competing at the same time, especially a
Stars.
mommy and a daughter. So, no.
Two women in the same house. Like I,
Exactly.
I grew. I grew up with, like I said, I had three sisters and a mother.
You knew. Yep.
We was only on like well, there was like more of a boys. Like I said, it was me, my brother, my younger brother, my two nephews. But still, women.
Yeah, that's right. You can. But
The
she'll
quote.
sit out the rest of the year and then, we'll go into a proper off season because I didn't have her during the off season. I just took her on during prep and then we'll see what happens. I mean, fit model is still fairly new. I don't know what they want. Um, so
Yeah.
yeah.
Anytime I hear that word, I have to clean my palate. I feel like, quit. I mean, no, again, no offense to them. This is my mindset of it. When bodybuilding first started, the men had evolved. Women came along. You saw the movie Pumping Iron. There was a
Yeah.
debate about with Bev Francis, and
Oh,
if you look, yeah, Bev was one of my favorites too. I mean, she came in when she left her last Olympia back in '91. She came in a monster. She left a monster. But
yeah.
even now, her level of muscle will be still considered maybe at the level of figure or maybe physique, just about. And it's like this: when you bring this new division in, the thing is because like if you look at the women in wellness now, how it was brought in a certain look to it, but these women have evolved and changed. These look like besides
Well,
her man Jeremy, he mentioned like this, they're like centaurs, like
yeah.
Clydesdales, you know. Then you bring in this new division and it's supposed to be a throwback to the other division. What's going to happen is like with physique, it's going to evolve eventually, because you don't like one thing about the judging, you're not curtailing. We see these issues like, hey, we don't want you to be too, side-weighted. You want too much development. You don't want too much round shoulder to cap. We want you to look a certain way. And that's
Yeah.
the thing with like this with your division physique, it is starting to look like women's bodybuilding in some ways, even though the pose is different. But some of these women are so close to it.
Yeah, I mean, going backstage again, like I said, like looking at them, I'm just like, whoa, they are like the amount of muscle they have, the density, it's just, wow, am I ever going to catch up? So I agree. Yeah, they are going a different direction. And of course, then you have women's bodybuilding who's also going to evolve as well, too. So,
Well, my opinion is with that, women's bodybuilding hits the ceiling. But if you look at someone like Andrea Ashley, or even someone like Angela, or some of the other ladies in the division, yeah, I think it's trying to catch up with that. That's the ceiling for right now for when it comes to the women's division.
yeah,
But the thing is, you have to be willing or wanting to go to that level. If you're not, cool, that's understandable. As you know, we with Zeke have cut some few shows here and there. I mean, I think they lost 3 shows last year. Women's bodybuilding struggled because they were at New York Pro, but they dropped it. Some promoters, like even Tim Gardner, he didn't have it till one guy I'm a fan of. Every time I say his name, I got to do it. Yo Jake, I want that money. I want that gun. Jake Wood. I saw him a couple of times. I saw him one time when he was at Savannah, and those. I think the thing is that people have to accept that y'all athletes, even though y'all women, y'all athletes. You
yeah,
train, you develop, you grow. You want to bring your best, look, especially when it comes to competition. I don't know, as I met my crime again, Joanna, as I am as a person, I don't know if I could be behind the stage watching y'all ladies like, oh yeah, I'd be like, I don't like there's an old smoke saying like, well, you ladies rock hard, we're rock hard, but it's yeah, it's about I think what you're comfortable with and how far you want to go.
yeah. For me, I never imagined I'd be women's physique, but after doing figure, I was like, why not? I, it opened up my eyes because I was like, they're beautiful. Like the amount of muscle that they have. I mean, like they can wear a dress and it's just, let's put it this way. you have a skinnier woman, or a skinnier woman, and then you have a woman's physique woman. Who has more shape? Who has more of the hourglass? Who has more of the extra, like the tiny waist, like women's physique versus somebody who's just skinny? And it's not to knock skinny women, but it's just I like the X frame of women's physique. It's just so beautiful to me, and to build that, it's really hard. And a lot of people think it's easy to do, but it really isn't. I mean, it's really hard to actually have a physique like that.
Yeah, she said really hard. So, and the thing is, it's about being comfortable with your own skin. I
Yeah,
think that's the thing is you have to be comfortable with how your body grow, how you develop. And I think also we talk about how things like, body dysmorphia, that's the issue. Also, uh, post-show blues because you start losing those gains, but you can't stay ripped and shredded year long. I mean, you have to enjoy, feel a little fluffy. I think some of you ladies, when you're off season, y'all beautiful because you're a little bit more full on the face, a little bit. You still have the muscles. Like right now, you're just like about 3 weeks after your last show. You're still in good shape. I mean,
yeah,
but still, you get the nice. Your face feel more full out. You don't feel like
yeah.
you're the
A little
Walking
bit
Dead.
softer. Yeah,
Yeah.
I actually like the off-season look because I'm a little bit softer. It's not so hard when I am in season. When I'm prepping for a show, I get everybody just like looking at me. But when I'm softer off season, now I'm a little bit more comfortable that, they're still looking, but it's just I feel a little bit comfortable now.
Yeah, that's the thing is you have to be comfortable with your own skin. So,
Yeah.
folks, I say we're not gonna hold you too long. This question I'm gonna ask you: what would you want for yourself out of bodybuilding towards your future?
What Well, I know me being the age that I am, I know I'm going to continue to compete for as long as I can, and as long as I can do it healthy. Um, but yeah, I would love to, for me, I would love to see where I can take this to the highest I can.
Yes, but taking time, like I said, age is also a thing. But also, I've known ladies who are in their 50s and 60s still doing this sport because they love it because of passion.
Yeah,
And you go as far as you want to go or how you feel you go. Not everybody's going to make the Olympia. You can always do Masters Olympia. That's coming up in another year or two.
yeah.
There's opportunities because Masters really is growing the last few years. And also, guys out there who are interested in people like Joanne or Maria, if you're interested in maybe sponsoring them, helping them out, this sport is a game again. It's not very lucrative. It's not a lot of opportunities. But if you're someone who has opportunity for someone like that, reach out and genuine interest. But this is what I say to you guys out here. And I say, guys, don't be that guy. Say, hey, Joanne, you're a cute little thing. Yeah, I want to have a little fun with you. No, you stop it, you sick freak. I know what's on your mind, you dirty. This is what you do. You post it says, Ysip, we are interested in your story, your path. You're a mother. You're working in the school system. You're a nurse. We would like to sponsor your next upcoming show. So whatever you need from us, and also if you work with our product, something the product that you can use in your process, we would love to help you out. So let us know, and we will be happy to help you further your career in the IFBB.
I appreciate that.
Yeah, I wish I
Would
can do
love
that. I wish I could do that. But people got to remember this also. Like folks, when these competitors, be it men and women, they're on that stage, you got to understand they're going through a lot. They're tired, they're hungry, dehydrated. Yes, we see these beautiful, amazing, ripped bodies, all tan and oiled up, look like goddesses and gods, but they went through a lot there. And I know your boy. Has he ever come to your shows?
My son?
Yeah.
No. If they're outside of California, no, he does not fly.
Well, maybe like next thing comes to the show and says, "Yes, my mom. Yes, that's my mom." But then somebody said, "You that cute little Asian chick? Yes, your mom's son. You want me to be your daddy? Hey, man. Yeah. But dudes, calm down. But here's the thing: is this is why I do these interviews to reach out to people like yourself to share your stories, to hear what inspires you, because you know I respect you, ladies, and also I'm a fan too. So
Thank you.
I would say this: no, ma'am, don't thank me. The quote from my man, The Dark Knight: "You never have to." That's why I do this because this gives me a purpose. Like I said, when my mom left, when she passed away, I didn't have much of anything. It was just me. I don't have kids. Everybody else in my family is growing, doing their own thing. this is something that I enjoy doing. It gives me a purpose to share your stories, to hear your stories. Like I said, I'm a fan of y'all ladies.
Oh,
And, I really admire people like you, Maria, some of the other ladies have met and also done content on. Because the fact is, it takes a lot to do what y'all do. Sacrifices. And those sacrifices are investments into your future in this sport.
yeah, yeah. It really is. And I love this is now my second interview and I love it because I get to tell my story out there and hopefully inspire other women. And not only that, like other women who like me, I didn't know who to listen to or talk to or what direction and what other people's stories were. How did they get into this? I think the more we can get information out to the public, then maybe more people will want to go into women's physique and or at least compete. It's just something helpful. So I appreciate that you do all this for us to get us out there to help the community.
That's not a problem, man. I mean, not just myself, my man David. It's also my KL. He's more a fan of women muscle as much as the sport of bodybuilding. It's also female bodybuilding channel, a couple other platforms that because everybody pays attention to the guys, because this is how I select this. The men's division, if you know anything about the pimping game, it's the bottom bitch. It's the one that gets the money, gets the attention. You
Yeah.
know, all the sports in the classic, he's about the next year going to shoot up the prize money for them to like nearly almost over $250,000. I mean, $750,000. That you gotta think about it. If you just not even if you can give like if you do a show, you can make like maybe $100,000 right off the gate. That
Yeah.
can cover a lot of your expenses. But the thing is, y'all ladies, y'all even though you make up a good number of the competitors, kind of between bodybuilding, physique, bikini, wellness, fitness, and and also you have um fit model coming in. You'll make
Yeah.
up the numbers, but you just don't get that. We're not gonna say it should be equal, but at least where okay, if I'm looking if they're looking to walk away with $600,000, Andrea should at least get a couple $100,000.
Oh yeah, most definitely. I agree. I wish that women's, bodybuilding was as popular as men, you know? It
Mm-hmm.
would be nice to. And the fact is we really do this sport because we do love it, you know. So
Yeah, so some ladies have told me they love it. They know they're not gonna make much money from it, but if you're lucky enough to have somebody want to sponsor you, support you, like anybody, if you know Joanne in your area, like next time she stopped at the gas station, whoever's running the gas station, hey, pay for her gas, give her a discount on something. If she's going shopping at the grocery store, hey, reach out to her, hey Joanne, we want to sponsor your next show. We take care of your food and everything else you need, and we sponsor you. You can just say, make sure you let us everybody knows about the grocery store. If you're a fan and genuine interest, not the fans I'm talking about,
oh no.
but generally interest somebody support someone like her, reach out, with genuine interest. God, I say this, guy. I keep saying this, guys. You get more with a silk glove than with an iron fist. I know what you're doing with your iron fist. So you have anybody want to shout out before we let you go?
I want to give a big shout out to Maria, my coach. I just love the Giant Slayer. She is an amazing person. There's, oh my goodness. I can't say enough about her. She's just so amazing. I'm just very lucky to have found her. So, yeah. And to the fans, everybody, you guys are amazing. I mean, for the people that have been reaching out to me, thank you. That means so much to me because now, you know, I understand, like, yeah, okay, I don't make a lot of money out of this, but just hearing like a simple hi, hello, and hey, you're women's physique, I'm women's physique as well. I mean, just hearing stuff like that means a lot to me. Like, I don't need much to make me happy, but hearing from the fans, it does. It makes me happy. Thank
like
you.
a like a good that'll go Joanne. You're like, that's I think that's one thing. I think when you get people who really, support you and stand by you, and you can't forget your boy, because he's the number one man in your world. He
Logan, yes.
yeah, Logan, saying
Love you, Logan.
yeah. Tell him say hello to the X-Man while he's at
I will.
it. So, but ma'am, like I said, I do appreciate your time. Oh, wait a minute. I'm sorry, Joanne. He has to say something. Oh yeah, Joanne. Before I let you go, I want to tell you something. Come close to the screen. You are beautiful. I'm so sorry about him. I try to keep him control, but the problem is he completes me. So, so Joe, and I wish you all the best of luck. You know, maybe someday, like I told Maria, maybe circumstances maybe might meet up at a show.
Yeah.
Yeah. I remember when I went to Tampa, I met quite a few ladies. I hanged out when I was in Atlanta. Another lady I know, Christina Ware. She's a IB pro bodybuilder. We hanged out and trained a little bit. I enjoyed that time.
Oh,
I just the opportunity when I get to meet you ladies and talk to you and hear stories and this is like I said, this gives me a purpose, and to share that with other people who maybe want to understand.
thank you. I appreciate it, George,
Where I
for
appreciate.
having me on here and, letting me have some time. Thank you very much.
Well, I thank you for your
It's an
time,
honor.
ma'am. But
You're
folks,
welcome.
again, thank you, folks. If you want to follow her description of this live stream, also her interview with Man David's also in the comment section. You want to check it out. Support my man, Female Bodybuilding Forum. Support these men and women sport of bodybuilding. Reach out and genuine interest. Don't be that guy. I don't want to hear that Logan which somebody. You know, but just like I said, I wish you all the best in the future, and also shout out to the giant killer, Maria Q,
Great.
and we can't wait. Maybe we can't wait to see her come back on the stage.
Oh yeah, I want to make. I hope she makes it come back soon. So you never know.
You never know. We can like the man says, we can only dream, can we? Anyway, folks, I'd like to shout out to my guests over here. Shout out to my man Melvin, my brother KL the Wanderer, all who watch this video, comment, subscribe, share, follow us on social media. Support these men and women sport of bodybuilding. Reach out in genuine interest. Don't be that guy. Anyway, it's your man all the way George Page, aka the Emperor of Female Body Talk. Don't like, subscribe. Good luck, good night, God bless, and see you the next time.
Bye.
You're welcome. Bye.